matters. Your language matters. Hey guys, my name is Ashley Kirkwood. To those of you who are new and just joining me live on here for the first time or so, please do drop a hey in the comments. I'm going to be talking tonight about something that's really important to me. It's always a topic that I love to speak on because I'm so big on language. I'm so anal about words and because words matter, particularly I think I'm a lawyer. So in the legal profession, every single word, every single syllable, every single period, all of it has a distinct meaning. It has a distinct meaning. And so when you are utilizing certain words and language, you may not realize what you're doing, but you are affirming something about yourself. And I want to talk to those folks out here who are entrepreneurs, service providers, people who are seeking to get to the next level. You're seeking to go to a higher level. You know for a fact that you have something powerful to offer the world, but maybe you haven't started it yet, or maybe you're not operating at your highest potential. Maybe you still feel like you're leaving something on the table, whether it be due to COVID or anything else. If that's you, if you're an entrepreneur, an expert, someone who has something to offer the world, just put "that's me" in the comments, because we're going to affirm tonight. We're going to affirm, because for every negative thing that anyone has ever spoken over your life or said to you, you need to be reaffirming some positives. So I'm always very, very, very careful not to speak negative things over you. And if you're joining, just put a hello in the comments. Hello. Thank you so much for joining on IG or on Instagram. We're going to get into this live. Here's what I want to talk about. We want to talk about this whole thing about I'm cheap. If you've ever sold anything in life and you are someone who sells at a high level, you are someone who makes offers that aren't cheap, right? You know that your offers are at the 5-figure, 6-figure mark. I submitted a proposal over $800,000. Like, if you're someone who does that, then you want to, good evening. Then you want to say, this may resonate with you. I just got done with the webinar. It was how to book paid speaking engagements without wasting time pitching orgs that don't pay. Some of you all knew about it. Some of you all didn't. If you didn't know about it, it's probably because I just ran ads to it and did it like that. But I am going to do better about cross-promoting and letting y'all know what's going on. In fact, I'm doing the same webinar tomorrow, and you can get your ticket at ashleynicolekirkwood.com/speaking webinar. If you're like, oh, she did a webinar, I missed it, don't miss it tomorrow. Anyways, what I want to talk to you all about is why your language is so critical. I had a particular client came to me and they were like, you know what? I've been eyeing your services for a while. I know I need a trademark. I know I want to go to the next level in my speaking career. I know that I should hire you, but ooh, girl, I looked at your prices and girl, I'm cheap. That's what she said. I'm cheap. She said that out of her mouth. And she was saying it as a way to guard herself against feeling like it was like a joke almost, like, haha, I'm cheap, because she didn't want to, she wanted to explain away why she wasn't making the decision she knew she needed to make in her life, because she was cheap. So she was just letting me know, she's telling the truth about herself at that time. So she thought, and it got me to thinking about something, y'all, because I'm always thinking about something. When people say I'm cheap, I don't know if they realize this, but if you break that down, I am cheap. When I say I am a lawyer, it is telling you all who I am. When you say I am cheap, what you are affirming about yourself is you are worth a little bit. You are cheap. You're not saying I don't like to spend a lot of money, or I'm frugal, or I'm wise with where I invest, or I only invest in things that produce a harvest, or you're not saying any of that. You are saying I am cheap. Here's the ironic thing. A lot of people who say I am cheap would love to have more. They have a desire to have more. They have a desire to get more money. They have a desire to live in abundance, to live in access, to live in a place where lack doesn't even hit their front door, where limitation isn't even a word that they know. But yet they say, I am cheap. Now, if you've ever said, I am cheap in your life, you could just repent. You could just You could just say, I'm not saying that anymore. You can make a mental note. You don't even have to tell me. I don't even know. I don't remember ever saying that, but I may have said that in my past when I didn't know better, when I was loose with my lips, when I didn't realize that when I speak, things have to shift. When I didn't realize all that, maybe I said, I am cheap. What I have consistently affirmed over the last 10 years that I can remember is that I am worthy. I am worth so much more. I am worthy of the prices that I charge and then some. I have billion-dollar ideas. Like, I've been affirming all kind of stuff, and I've not been affirming I'm cheap. That's for sure. That's for sure. And let me tell you all something that hit me recently when I was talking to my dad. I told him that I recently hired someone and I had to pay her $8,500. I didn't have to, but I chose to invest $8,500 in her services. And I knew it was worth it. And I decided to pay her in full. And I decided to pay her in full because I did not want to, because I wanted people to start paying me in full. Period. I was like, I'm about to pay this woman in full because I want people to start paying me in full. And thus I want to be the client that I want to have. I want to make sure that I am putting that out there into the universe. My energy is right. Like, I could easily say, I used to love, and let me stay on track. Let me stay on track with the point I was going to tell y'all before I go off script, because y'all know I ain't got no notes tonight, so who knows what's going to happen. When I was talking to my dad about this, and I was like, yeah, I paid her, and I paid her in full because I really want people to pay me in full. That's how I like to be paid. My preferred clients always pay in full. He was like, yeah, because it's a seed. It's a seed. What you did was you sowed a seed, and so you're going to start getting a harvest. When I made that investment, I immediately had, like, we brought in something ridiculous under the Speaker Rated Cash coaching brand. Not even ridiculous. It was a good amount of money. It was a good starting point. Because I don't want to get myself in the habit of saying that something is a whole lot of money and then I make that my ceiling. So it wasn't even a lot of money, but it was good. It was better than we had done in previous months. Not as good as what we're going to do in the future. And then I turned around and dropped another $8,000. And so now we're like 16 grand in 40 days for this one particular service. And I was so excited about paying it because what it meant and what it represented for me was, one, I had it. And then two, it represented that I am getting to the point where I can invest on a higher level and I can expect bigger harvests and bigger returns. And I'm very, 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 very careful not to say certain things. There's certain words that I take out of my vocabulary, and I want to share those with you all because sometimes words are powerful. Yes, I wish I could see who's making these comments. For some reason, StreamYard is not letting me be great in that regard right now. We're going to see if we can figure it out. I'm going to work on it. But one of the things that I'm able to do is reflect on the fact that now I'm spending a decent amount of money on coaching and on getting the things that I need for my business and on advice. So this is good. This means I'm getting to a good place in my business. And one of the things that I want to share with you all is that there may be a time in your life that you do not have it all. And the first 6 months of my business, Mobile General Counsel, that is, we were not bringing in clients. We made over the $100,000 mark towards the last 6 months of the year. But those first 6 months, I never said, oh, we're never going to get a client. Oh, I'm never going to be able to have it. And when I saw coaches that I wanted to work with that I could not afford at that time, I didn't go in their inbox and say, oh, you expensive. This is a lot of money. And why didn't I do that? And I don't want to go too deep on you all, but I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm a Christian. So just, if you're like atheist or that's not your jam, just sign off. It's cool. I got lots of business videos that don't even touch on that. But here's the thing. I understand that sometimes if you start repeating things over and over and over and over again, they become real to you. And if you're not careful, you can start making things that aren't a big deal your God. It can start ruling over you in a certain sense. If you never have something and all you do is talk about what you don't have, what you'll never have, what you'll never get, how you'll never grow, why everybody else is doing everything so great and why you're not achieving things, but people who have less than you aren't doing well. If you're consistently confessing that over and over and over again, it becomes your God. Let me break that down. It lords over you to the degree that every single experience or interaction you have, whether it be online or offline, you start to have those thoughts over and over and over again. And it's very, 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 very dangerous when you're a business owner and you don't control your tongue and you don't control your thoughts. 2 T's. You don't control your tongue and you don't control your thoughts. The reason why that's so critical for you as a business owner is because as business owners, we are the ultimate steward. We have to steward, hey, Monet, we have to steward the people who come into our space and who come into our sphere. They're asking us to guide them to a particular result. When I get a legal client, I have a fiduciary duty to them. I just do. And so if I'm not controlling my thoughts and my tongue and the words that I say to them, the words that I write on their behalf, then I'm not being a good steward. Here's why I absolutely loathe when people are like, I'm cheap. It's because I don't think they realize what they're saying is that like they are cheap. When you say I'm cheap in relation to a service or a program that you can't pay for yet, what you're saying is that you're like, it is no indictment on the service provider. It's no indictment on me. I know my rates are set for me to succeed. They're set for me to provide for my family without having to give up an unnecessary time. They're set for me able to serve on the highest level. I just sent out the Speak Your Way to Cash boxes, and Vanessa, one of the attendees, got her box, and she was like, this is some good quality. The quality was amazing. Like, she was talking about the quality of the box. But because I don't charge rates that allow me, that force me to serve beneath my calling, I can provide an experience on a higher level than someone who's charging $10 for a 2-day event or doing it for free. So you want to be really, really, really careful that as a business owner, as someone who is seeking to charge for a service or a product, you aren't confessing out of your mouth that you're cheap, because you're not. You're not cheap, even if you don't have it in the bank, you're not cheap. And I think that is where so many people get it messed up, is they think that their worth is defined by what they have. Your worth is defined by what you think. I don't know if y'all caught that. Your worth is not defined by what you have. Your worth is defined by what you think. And your thoughts are always within your control. So you have the ability to change your circumstances based on thoughts. Let me prove it to you. Because some of y'all are like, she's on a roll. I don't know if this is real. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. I do this program called The Currency of Confidence. I don't do it for individuals. I speak on, that is my signature speech that I do around the country for colleges and corporations, etc. And what we talk about is how your mindset cements your beliefs, and your beliefs will lead to your actions. You have the ability to change your life based on what you think. That is true. If that weren't true, then you wouldn't be able, like, if I don't know that technology exists, I'll never use technology. But at the point that I know it, at the point that someone expands my mind to think about something, I can then change my life, because now I can use it. And then when I can use something, I can start acting differently, and then I can get different results. And so it all starts with your thoughts. Now, what some of you all may not realize is you are, and my dad says this all the time. He's going to be like, give me my credit. My dad's a pastor. So my dad says this all the time. He was like, you are the sum total of your words. You're the sum total of your words. You are the sum total of your words. And let me be really, really, really clear. You could have grown up in a horrible environment where they never spoke positive things into you, where you didn't see wealth and riches and everything else. And if you are a grown consenting adult, it is now your responsibility to reverse that with your thoughts that will become your actions. A lot of you are sitting at home mad about the wrong things. Like, there are some times when, and not a lot of you, I won't say you, but a lot of people are sitting at home mad about the wrong things. Like, I always saw people are like, yeah, well, I was talking to someone and they were like, I see other people making $15,000 for their services. I got all these degrees. I should be making that. And I'm like, yeah, you should. You know the people that are making it. You know the people that are doing it. It's easy to find out whether someone is actually successful, whether they actually have clients, whether they actually have receipts, at the point that you know the people who are successful, who are succeeding, who are, like, I'm in the speaking space. I'm in the legal space. I get trademarks. Those trademarks are registered. It's public how many that have been filed. Like, it's, you know that I've helped people do this in the past. You know that through speaking, we've helped our clients land more money than they've ever made in their lives through speaking. It's evident. They're out there. So all you have to do is take the next step and make the investment. And then there's people who are like, I don't have the money for the investment. Cool. Are you doing everything else to get the money that, like, before I could invest, I didn't always have like $16,000 to invest in coaching. I mean, come on, let's be real. You may not always have that right up front. I did not always have that right up front. So what I would do is I would stair step it. With the person that I work with Felicia Kelly. I think she's great. I just watched her live videos. Those are free. They're on the internet. Then I went to this class she taught. It was like $600. No brainer. I took the class. Then I did this VIP day that she had on special. Okay, so I did the VIP day. Now that's when you're getting into the 5-figure amount of money. Then I did something else with her. And so I paid her again, but I stair stepped it. After I saw the results from the free stuff, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Let me dip my toe in a little further. Let's see what else she has to offer. And that is what a prudent person does. No one should make you feel bad for starting off slow. There's nothing wrong with, I'm not saying jump into a $50,000 program with somebody. No, listen to their live videos. For me, I have to listen to my live videos. Listen to the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, where I give so many tips about how to book paid speaking engagements. Go to one of the low-cost webinars that I throw. Okay, attend that. It's like $20, $30, whatever. Take some other cheap, lower cost offering, which I do consider is like, it is a lower amount of money. Those programs are cheaper, right? So like take one of those programs. And then when you're ready to commit, you're like, you know what? I like what she has to say. Jump in, but do not let money be the thing that keeps you from your destiny because you're twiddling your thumbs over money that you have in the bank account. Like at some point, money can't be the determining factor. Before even starting my own business as an entrepreneur, and this stuff gets me so hype up. Can y'all tell? Before starting my own business and if this is making sense to you, just put like make sense in the comments, or we feeling you. Give me some comments on this stuff. If you have dealt with people who said I'm cheap, if you said it yourself, just put I repent. If you like literally let me know if this is resonating at all, because I don't do these videos often, but I may do them more depending on the feedback that we get here. Before starting my own business as an entrepreneur, I'm gonna tell y'all where I was at. I wanted to go to law school. I wanted to go to Northwestern. And I started off at a lower ranked law school called John Marshall. No problem. It was just lower ranked. It's just the facts. It was a lower ranked law school. And, you know, law school rankings, there's like 200 law schools in the country. The bottom 25 law schools are called like tier 4 law schools, not like your elite law schools. Northwestern is the top 10 law school in the nation. I wanted to go. Now, I'm about to tell you guys something. I don't know if I've shared this in a while, if I've ever shared it. So I was faced with this dilemma. I wanted to get into law school, and I wanted to go to Northwestern because I knew that the average salary out of Northwestern was $180,000. I knew the average salary out of John Marshall was $55,000 at the time. So just looking at the average salaries, I knew I needed to be at a higher ranked law school because I always knew that I was going to be well paid. Even when I became an entrepreneur, I am still well paid. I am always going to be well paid, period. So I looked at the facts. And so I wanted to transfer. Now, when I told John Marshall, I was like, hey, I'm going to transfer. If I get into Northwestern, I'm leaving. Unless you all give me, I think I told them $300,000. It was some huge number. Maybe it was like it was so much money. I was like, unless you all give me this huge figure, I'm leaving if I get into Northwestern. Do you know what John Marshall told me? They told me, this is so funny. This is such a testimony. God is so good, y'all. They told me there is no way you're going to get into Northwestern coming from John Marshall. Only one person has ever done it in recent history, and it was this guy named Connor. Now, Connor was a white male. And they were like, there's no way you're going to do it. They literally told me there's no way you're going to do it. So I was like, ooh, I love when people underestimate me. We're going to get into Northwestern. So I started going to Northwestern and studying in their library, even though I wasn't a student. And I did that because Northwestern's library, I really hope you all can lean into this. Northwestern's library overlooked the water. Now, here's the thing. The lower ranked law school, their library didn't overlook, it overlooked like concrete. It was no view, right? But when I went to Northwestern and sat in their library, I could see the water while I was studying, y'all. And that was so important to me because I knew that if I could put myself in the right environment, I could thrive. And I knew that by seeing the right environment every single day, even though I wasn't there, I wouldn't get jealous of the other students. I wouldn't be mad at the other students. I wouldn't be hateful. I wouldn't get resentment. I would get motivation. There are some of you that as long as you're next, if you can just get next to people doing what you want to do, you won't start hating on them. You won't start stealing their stuff. You won't start looking at them crazy. You will get motivated. And there are other people who won't even go to the right environment, even though it's free, because they will start to resent the people who are in that environment. They'll start saying things like, they only got this because they're white. If I was white, I would have got into Northwestern. If I was this, I would have got a North. They'll start making excuses for their circumstances instead of looking at the beauty of the environment and getting motivated. Sometimes it's not even about the money. And this is why I hate excuses, because it cost me $0.00 to go and study at Northwestern's library. Didn't cost a thing. And the reason why I did it was because I knew God don't tease me. Some of you all have heard me say this. God does not tease me. If I can see it, I can have it. And if I can see it, I will work towards it. I will be a good steward over it, and I will get it. And so sometimes people keep themselves, even from being in the environment, even from watching the free videos, even from attending the lower cost offerings, even from doing it, because seeing it, they think they'll get jealous, or they think they will feel inadequate. They think imposter syndrome will set in. Y'all need to stop letting your mind and the made up barriers and walls and jail cells that you have put yourselves in keep you from environments that are designed to stretch you, grow you, and get you to the next level. You got to cut it out. I get it. A lot of us watching this are Black. A lot of us watching this are women. A lot of us watching this are women. Some of us watching this are divorced. Some of us watching this don't have all the money. Some of us watching this never had a dad growing up. Some of us watching this had a dad growing up. Some of us watching this lost their mom. Some of us watching this don't have the money. Some of us don't have, there are always going to be things that you do not have. But guess what? If you can take yourself from a position of, I don't have it and I'm never going to get it, to as long as I can see it. I don't know if you all are biblical scholars or whatever, or if you ever heard that story about the woman who was like, all I got to do is touch the hem of Jesus's garment. I just got to get in the environment, and then I just got to get close enough to him to touch him. I love that story, because what it shows is like, I may not have everything. I may be carrying around a disease or something. And all I need is to like get in the right environment and then get close enough to the person with the answers to touch them. And that's it. I ain't even gonna ask no questions. I'm just gonna get in the room. I'm gonna learn everything I can learn. And if I can take the next step, I'm gonna take the next step. Sometimes you're making excuses when you need to be making moves. You're making excuses when you need to be making moves. So what? You don't got 20 grand to invest. So what? I learned a long time ago, if I don't have a ton of money and I make all my decisions based on the money that I have, I will always make poor decisions, because I don't have you can't make decisions based on money when you have a limited monetary resource. Sometimes you have to make decisions based on your belief in your own capabilities. Like, I don't care if I give and I'm not saying to do this, but there are some people who are like, you know what? I know I don't get paid for another 2 weeks, but I know if I invest this $1,500 or whatever the amount is, I trust my work ethic and implementation enough to get results. I trust my ability to research who this woman is, look at her other clients. I've already DM'd the other clients. They said that she's the truth. I trust all of this enough that if I drop that check, I'm getting results, because I know me. Screw the coach. Long as the coach gives me enough information to open up my mind, I'm winning. I don't care about a coach. And this is why you will never hear me bash a coach publicly, because my bar for coaches is so low. My bar for not that it's low. Let me rephrase that. My bar for coaches is this. If you open my mind to one new idea that I can implement, it is worth whatever I pay, because I know for a fact that one idea can change the way that I act. And I know that my actions move things in this earth, period. And some of you just need to get to the place where you're not concerned about losing no little bit of money. Okay, Monet said, I've had some mean and bad coaches. That's ridiculous. People should not be mean and people should not be bad. They should not be mean and bad. That aside, if you have a coach whose character you can trust, obviously character is first, whose results you can verify, obviously results matter, who's doing what you want to do, they only need to give you an idea and then you take that and run with it and you flip that little investment. And sometimes, y'all, we gonna have to be confident enough to say, I'm not stressing about no little bitty money. I'm just not. I'm not stressed. If someone charged me $500, I show up and it's bad, I may tell them like, hey, this wasn't what I anticipated. They could give me the money back or not, but I'm not about to lose precious time over that. I'm just not. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Monet said, I'm so happy to be coming to your classes. Look, Monet, you ain't gonna have none of them problems, okay? But yes, okay, look. So I didn't even finish my Northwestern story, y'all. So I would go to Northwestern just to sit in the environment, because I wanted to see how the other side lives, okay? So I would go to their library and I would sit and I would always get the seat by the water. So many students at Northwestern never even cared about getting the seat by the water because they were so used to it. Here's another point. Some of you guys have so much at your disposal that you're not taking advantage of because you have the luxury of access or excess and you don't even take advantage of the excess. You have all these coaches, you have all the clients, you've invested in the courses, but you are not capitalizing on what you have in your reach. I would always be able to find a seat by the water because those kids were so used to sitting by the water and seeing luxury. They didn't care nothing about sitting by that water. I was the one going over there like, oh, yes, seat by the water. They're like, girl, this is every day for us. So I would go to Northwestern, I would sit by the water and I would study. And I ended up getting all A's my first year of law school after never even having ever in my life getting all A's ever anywhere, which is why I wrote the book, The Law School Hustle. Eventually, I started applying to Northwestern. I go in and I talk to the admissions officer, and I will never forget the interview that I did with the admissions officer because I went in and she was like, we want to interview you. And she was scared to ask me about my past in college because she didn't want to come off rude. Very nice woman, very well-meaning woman. She wasn't diverse, but nice woman, very nice woman. I like her a lot, in fact. But I could tell that there was something in the interview, and this is my admittance interview into Northwestern. I could tell that there was something in the interview that she wasn't asking me. And so she was sitting there and she was like, okay. And I told her, and I really don't think I've ever shared this story, but I think you all are going to get blessed from this. So lean in, right? I told her, the interview was over. She was done asking questions. And I was like, Emily, and her name was Emily. I was like, Emily, can I just tell you something? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, look, you're going to see in my file that I had a 2.1 GPA graduating from undergrad. You're going to see in that file that I went to a junior college and got like an F in one of the courses. You're going to see that. And it was really because I didn't continuously go to the class. I could give you all these excuses about why it happened, but you're going to see that. That's in the file in front of you. You're going to see all of that. And you're probably wondering if I can really hack it at this school, if I will really be able to hack it. But you're also going to see that after doing all of that, failing, getting low grades in undergrad, almost not making it out of my undergraduate program in a competitive program at the University of Illinois. You're going to see that after all of that, I went to law school and got straight A's at John Marshall. You're going to see that I didn't get a single B. You're going to see that you're just going to see that I have excelled academically. But let me tell you what you're not going to see. What that paper will not tell you is what I'm about to promise you, that if you let me into this school, I will be one of the most successful alumni from this school. I will give back in terms of my time. I will make it in the legal industry. I will make money and I will donate. I will be a very, very, very good alumni coming from this school. And I can promise you that I will continue to excel at the same or a higher level. She was like, oh my God, I cannot believe you told me that, because that really was my only concern was, can you keep this up? Can you do it? And there are some of you that are entrepreneurs. If you're an entrepreneur on this live, just put entrepreneur in the comments. If you're an entrepreneur on this live, there are some of you that are entrepreneurs and maybe you're just starting out or whatever. But some of you have something in your past that you're afraid of sharing with your audience because you think that it will disqualify you. You think that it'll make people not trust your judgment. You think that it'll take you from being seen way up here to way down there. But let me tell you something. Sometimes you need to address the questions that your audience is afraid to ask. You need to just preemptively address the questions. Like Monet, her concern is that she's had mean coaches. Monet, I will never be mean to you. That's not even in my character. Even when people are disrespectful to me, I'm not mean. There are some times when you all are selling your services and there's something that you know people are going to ask. Maybe you just launched. You don't got no testimonials on the website. You know they're wondering, can you get it done? You need to address the question that people are afraid to ask, because let me tell you something. It's going to be a question whether they ask it or not. Inevitably, I end up getting into Northwestern, right? And the first law school that I went to, Lynn said it was meant for me to catch this live. Hey, girl, catch it. Catch this live, catch these gems, girl. So I ended up getting into Northwestern. And what's so funny, remember when I told you all I asked the first law school for like 100, it was a lot of money. It was like I wanted them to pay for all of my law school plus all of my living expenses. And I wanted them to write me a check. They were like, we'd never give that to you because you'll never get in. I go back to them. They said, you know what, Ashley? We're going to pay you the money that you've asked for. We're going to give you all the money that you asked for. Your next 2 years of law school will be free. We'll write you I think it was a $30,000 check year over year for all your living expenses. You won't come out of pocket for nothing. We want to keep you at this school and we're going to write the check, whatever it takes. Now I get the dilemma. Let me tell y'all, because a lot of people get excited about making a lot of money. I get excited about walking away from a lot of money. And here's why. Because I know that if I walk away from a lot of money, that means that I am just opening the door for more to come, especially if it's not the right decision. I still get excited about making money and signing contracts and all of that. But I learned a long time ago, if you're not willing to walk away from a deal, if you're not willing to walk away from some money, you will always allow things and decisions that are not in your best interest to control you. So if you can't never walk away from a client, you'll never have room for the big tickets. If you can't ever walk away from an opportunity or a job when you know you're called to be an entrepreneur, you'll never be able to do what you're called to do in the space that you're called to do it in, because money is your God. If that is the only thing that controls you, it allows you to make all the decisions. It lords over you, right? We talked about that earlier. If money lords over you in such a way that you can't walk away from something because of the money tied to it, it will always be the thing that makes your decision. You're not even in the driver's seat. That check is. You're not even in the driver's seat. That client is. And if you're someone who doesn't mind letting money and clients be in the driver's seat of your destiny and your future, then fine. But for a lot of us, we want to own a business. We're entrepreneurs because we want to keep the power in our own pocket. We're not trying to give the power away. So they offer me all this money and they say it's going to be free. Now, Northwestern was like, we're not offering you nothing, but you can use this brand and make it do what it do. See what'll happen. See what'll happen from it. See what you can make happen. And I had to make a decision to walk away from a free law school tuition plus them paying me to go to school in order to figure out what I can do. And so Brown Flower says you're trying to watch, but the screen keeps blacking out. We're also live on Facebook. So if you search Ashley in Kirkwood on Facebook and go to my Facebook page, you can watch it there uninterrupted. So I walked away from that money. And that was the first time in my professional career that I'd walked away from six figures, right? Like the value of what they were offering me was over $140,000. It was $140,000, if not more. So I walked away from that and I went to Northwestern and I ended up graduating with honors from Northwestern Law School, getting a job at Kirkland and Ellis. I got a signing bonus at one of the firms I worked from after Kirkland that was in excess of $80,000. I was able to do some wild things. Like it was great. I was able to go to Kirkland, do my thing, work, do jury trials. It all worked out. But I was really able to leverage the Northwestern brand in a way that when I started crafting these $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 licensing checks, people are like, how did you know to do that? What happened? It was the Northwestern network that taught me how to do that. So I was able to leverage that and then totally reconfigure how I do my speaking services to corporate clients and college clients. So it was well worth it. The network alone is well worth it for me. Now, I don't know. I'm not telling nobody walk away from a scholarship, but for me, it was 100% worth it to do what I did. But for you all who are watching and who are listening to this, and the reason why I'm saying your language matters is you can't allow the price of something to get you shook. If that is what you need to invest it and move on. And not move on, invest it and then make your money back on the investment. Like make sure it is a real deal investment. It's 2020. Don't get scammed. You should be able to know if somebody's attitude is nasty. Talk to them beforehand. Watch their videos. See how they are. And there's a difference between nasty and direct. I'm not like a fluffy person. Like, I don't send all my clients messages like, good morning. Like, I typically send them messages about the services that they rendered. Like, I don't come to play. They don't come to play. They're busy. I work with brilliant business owners and speakers that have billion-dollar brands, whether the world knows it or not. That is who I work with. I work with people who know their ideas are brilliant, who know their ideas are worth protecting. And so they get a trademark through Mo General Counsel, or they're a speaker who knows that they want to give advice to clients. They know that they want to get booked and paid to speak consistently. And so they work with me and Speak Your Way to Cash in one of our group programs, or they book a VIP day. DM me if you need advice about any of this. But like, I don't work with people who are wishy-washy, but I know that there are some of you that are brilliant, that do have billion-dollar ideas, even though the world doesn't know it yet. But you're stuck in the place where you're still speaking negative things over your business, and it's preventing you from getting to the next level in your career. And let me tell you what that next level means. When you don't unlock your greatness and you don't get to the next level in your career, it holds other people back. To date, I have helped hundreds of people through my thousands of people through my podcast, through my Facebook group, through my coaching. My VIP clients are making money. I'm doing a live training, or a case study rather, Friday. This has been the best financial year in her business to date because we met. And we worked together and we worked some deals out. But the real thing that helped wasn't even all the strategies. It was that I got her thinking differently about her business. She's the expert. I can't take that away from her. She already knew. And a lot of you already know. Y'all already know your stuff. Monet's a celebrity hairstylist. She already know how to tell you how to work with celebrities, how to get those deals, how to not mess it up when you get there, how to interact and engage so that you're not looking like a rookie, how to consistently get booked, what associations you need to join, what unions you need to be in. If there aren't any unions, what clubs you need to do, what books you need to read. She already know that. She's an expert in that. I'm not going to teach her how to be a celebrity hairstylist. No, what we're going to work on is how do you position that so that you can profit from it consistently over time. My job is to give her ideas and strategies that she can then go and implement. So some of you you think you need like all this other stuff. No, you need a new idea. You need to start thinking differently about yourself, and you need to watch your tongue and watch your thoughts. And you also need to never again say, I am cheap, or I can't afford that. You absolutely can afford it, whether you can afford it right now or not. It's not a matter of what you can afford. And the reality is, the better you want something, you're going to do what it takes to be able to provide it and to afford it. When I was at John Marshall, I just didn't want to make 50 grand out of law school. I didn't want to be a lawyer working for $20 an hour. I didn't want to be a lawyer begging for clients. I didn't want to be a lawyer who didn't have any money, who was seen as some solo practitioners chasing people around, begging for clients. I want to operate and walk in authority at all times. The only way I can do that is by being diversified and financially secure and keeping my thoughts in check. Because even when the bank account doesn't match up, I'm still living in a wealthy place. It's not about what you can afford a lot of times. It's just not. If we want to be real, it's not about the money. You're not doing it because of your thoughts that lead to your actions. Consistent thoughts over time cement your beliefs. What you believe informs what you do. If you are not getting the results you want, check your beliefs, because it informs your actions. You know the coach you need to hire. You know you need a trademark for your stuff. You know you need to do these things. But what is the thought process behind it? Ooh, that's a lot of money. I don't even know if this business will work. That's the real thought process, because $3,500 for you to protect your brand and own it for the rest of your life is nothing. That's a drop in the budget. How much is that brand worth? Is it worth more than $3,500? I sure hope so. Like, it's typically not the price. It's the thought process that you have behind these things that prevents you from taking the action you know for a fact you need to take. So I want y'all to watch your words. Watch your words. Do your due diligence, and then start moving towards the direction of your destiny. Get in that environment. Don't let anything stop you. Don't let money stop you. Don't let anything stop you. Get close to the people you need to get close to, who have the knowledge you know you need, that then they have the knowledge you need to get to the next level. Get close to them. Get in those environments. I cannot tell you all how freeing it was just to be in the environment that I wanted to be in, to see that water, to see everyone else there, to start getting comfortable in my new environment even before I get there. And I'll leave you guys with this. If this is making sense, just put make sense, put amen, put something in the comments. Y'all know with the pandemic, me and Chris haven't been able to travel. And that's big because we like to take a trip every 3 months. And we have not done that. We've been in the house for the past 6 months. And we got baby girls, so we're really in the house. But one of the things we've started to do, we go to different neighborhoods. We look up we'll go to a different neighborhood. We'll go on Redfin. This is something y'all could do too. Y'all can, I don't know, quarantine fun, I guess. We go to a different neighborhood. We look up the most expensive house in that neighborhood. So we'll put minimum price $1 million, no max price. And we'll go drive around and see all of the different homes. And we'll think about how they decorate the homes and how we want to have our house when we get our dream house and what it's going to look like and what's the landscaping going to be and what kind of staff are we going to need to keep that house up? Because y'all know I'm not doing that. So we think through what our staff is going to look like and we just drive around the neighborhoods. And why do we do this? We do this because God don't tease me. I don't know what he do for everybody else. But the way my personal relationship is set up, he does not tease me. So when I see something and I start moving towards it, it's happening. It's just a matter of when it'll happen, but it's happening because he does not tease me. And so because of that, it's been really fun and really cool to like see and start imagining and dreaming. Recently, we did vision boards and we put all this stuff on our vision boards and we were looking at it and we did it as a couple. We put our baby on there, the things we want to do for her, and her college funds already set up. We've already started putting money towards that. It's automatic, boom, but we want to grow that. And then we have giving goals. And so we want to give a certain amount of money. I want to hire 25 people. I want to do all these different things with the business. I want it to sustain me. I want it to sustain my family. I want all these different things to happen. Have me and my husband do the same thing. Yes, right? Absolutely. And so, it's so critical that we look at environment, like look at the environment you're in. If your friend circle isn't right, you need to join a group of people that's doing well. We're launching in October, Speaker Ready Cash Academy. That's how we landed our first dream home, Speaker Ready Cash Academy. And I'm so excited about it because what it's going to do, and I'm launching it first to the people who attend the retreat, the 2-day retreat, because I think what's going to happen is we're going to sell out of the seats in the retreat, but I'm not sure. So I don't know if I'll do another launch after that, but I'm going to launch it to them because I know the value of being in a high level environment with other people all moving towards the same goal and bouncing ideas off of each other. And it's a very, 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 very powerful thing. Very powerful thing. Yes. Got to have giving goals. And so I'm excited about what it's going to mean for the people who are in it because I am going to be working with them for a year, up to a year. And we're going to get some things done. And the way this program is set up is unlike anything I've seen. It's just bananas, the way that it's set up. But it's going to be dope. It's going to really be dope. And I'm excited about what it means for the people that I'm going to work with. But again, it all starts with vision. There are so many people that are waiting on you guys to just launch, like do it, just go full throttle, go all in, be 100% who you're called to be so that they can start seeing that it can be done and then moving in the right direction. But yeah, your language matters. That I'm broke language, put that to bed. Fun story. The person who told me they're broke, we ended up, not I'm broke, I'm cheap. The person that said, I'm cheap, we ended up working together. They had their biggest contract ever. Once they gave up that language, they made the investment, they paid the price and it paid off. I had my biggest month ever when I made my biggest investment ever. It's not a coincidence. It's a mindset thing. Yeah, the coach was amazing. Her ideas were amazing. Her strategies were great. The strategies I give my clients are amazing. They're great. But I know for a fact, if they didn't change their mind, I couldn't tell them nothing to get them to the next level because they wouldn't implement. So think through what are the thoughts that are holding you back so that you can get rid of them. And all of us, myself included, may have limiting beliefs in certain areas of our life. Sure, I could imagine a 6-figure month, but I couldn't really imagine a 7-figure one. So that's a limiting belief. What is that limiting belief keeping me from seeing 7-figure months? What about 7-figure days? I mean, there's going to be some limits in some areas. Start where you're at. Carve out where those limiting beliefs are, because wherever they are, that's where your inaction lies. When you don't think it's going to happen, you're not doing nothing. You're just not doing nothing. Like, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to take any action. So hopefully this was helpful. Your language matters. Control the 2 T's, your thoughts and your tongue. The words that you say are critical. So before you guys leave, I just want to let you guys know that you're brilliant. You're excellent. There's literally someone right now sitting in a chair, sitting on a couch, watching TV, assigned to you, hoping that you take the next step. There's corporations all over the world that are waiting to hear your voice, waiting to hear you get out there and give your message. And they don't want you to corporate it up. They want you to say it in your voice, in your tone. You don't have to change who you are to get these big contracts and to get these big deals and to sign these. I just inked a contract with one of the largest insurance providers in the world today. Signed it today. And guess what? I didn't change my language. I got the deal because an employee who works there listened to the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast and was like, I just like you. Can we get a contract with you to do something? And the first contract she bought me didn't work out. This is the second contract. She was like, we can make this work. We're going to make this work. So don't think you have to give up a part of who you are or change a part of who you are and do all these other things. You don't have to do this. You do not have to do this. Like you don't have to do all of that. Be you. Show up as you and get it cracking. Tavanas just says, God led me to this live. I haven't checked out your content in a while, but I hear guys saying it's time. Let's go. Let's go. Join my email list. Book a class. DM me about what you need. We'll get it cracking. And yes, I am taking clients. I have room for 2 more VIP days this quarter. And I have Speak Your Way to Cash Academy launching. Right now, we're running a wait list for it. But just DM me if you're interested. If you want to work with me, you don't quite know how, you want to learn more, just shoot me a direct message and I can lead you in the right direction. And then we'll go from there. But y'all, look, you're brilliant. You have $1 billion brand, $1 billion ideas. There's absolutely nothing that can stop you. You have now given up excuses. If you're gonna commit to no excuses just this week, just the rest of this week, what is it, Tuesday? Just the rest of this week, put no excuses in the comments. You are not an excuse maker. You are an action taker. You are not cheap. You are wealthy. You are always going to live in abundance. Like, those are the things that I want you all to really get in your spirit and start to internalize so that you can start moving in the right direction and get fast results. So I'm taking clients. I'm open to working with you all, regardless of if we ever work together or not. Share this live out. If there was anything in here that was valuable to you, share it with your friends, share it with your family, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Make sure people get this message, because right now, everything that's going on, people are getting stagnant. But the reality is, this is not the time to get stagnant. Put your foot on the gas if you have something that can help people during this time. Put your foot on the gas, make the offer, share your voice, share your wisdom, do it. No more excuses, period. Tracy says, I commit, no more excuses, period. Exactly. All right, y'all. I'm ready to get this done. I'm seeing the no excuses drop through. Share this out. Shoot me a message if you want to work, you want to get in and do something, and I'll talk to you guys soon.